Okay.
Madam, myself.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
I have no books, madam. How should I? How
Hello.
do I get books? Hello, ma'am.
You can
I have.
download as the coordinator sir told you yesterday. You can download it from the Gyankos, and you can download into Google Chrome, whatever it may be. You can download it.
Okay, ma'am.
It is there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then about the sonnets, you have any doubt? The three sonnets of Spenser: sonnet number 34, sonnet number 67, and 77. Yesterday I discussed the sonnet
Madam,
number 34 vividly and line by line.
Hello, ma'am.
You have to go
madam,
through the
namaste.
sonnet number 60. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what about Lisa?
May please be discussed.
What about
Sonnet number 77. Sonnet number 77.
sonnet number 67 and 77? It is in your course and
70.
syllabus.
Yes, madam. I would like to request you to shortly discuss sonnet number 77.
Okay. Just I have to go through in a nutshell that sonnet number 77.
Okay, ma'am.
That is, it is also the comes under the series of Amoretti sonnets of Spenser. And in this
Yes, madam.
sonnet,
Yes, madam.
in this sonnet, as usually, Spenser discuss about or Spenser addressed to the Elizabeth Boyle.
Madam, excuse
To
me,
Elizabeth Boyle. Yes.
madam, excuse me, madam. Yesterday we got information from you that Elizabeth Broyle was his love.
Yes. Gradually, but writing the poem, he was not married to Elizabeth Boyd. But gradually, at Epithalamion and Prothalamion, it is sure that he was going to marry Elizabeth Boyle. Epithalamion is the pre-marriage song of Spenser and Elizabeth Boyle. Follow me?
But did the marriage not materialize?
Yes. That marriage is materialized, but gradually. In this poem, it was said, some sonnets are reflected that it was one-sided love. Therefore, Amoretti, as I have said earlier, it is little love. That's why Spenser gives the Amoretti title that it is little love. It was one-sided love. From the very beginning, it was not compassionate, or it was not the both side love, lover and beloved.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Somebody
Okay, madam.
is giving the message that I have to told in Odia. Is the coordinators are allow me, then I must tell in Odia. As it was MEG English class, I suppose that everybody should go through the English
No,
language.
ma'am. It's necessary
Yes.
to.
What is the problem with you? I am just telling in simple English. You can follow me.
Yes, ma'am. You just telling me the simple.
Yes, madam. Proceed on.
We can understand, ma'am. So please continue.
Elizabeth Boyle married to Spenser, but in a lateral stage. Most of the sonnets are addressed to Elizabeth Boyle, seeking love from Spenser towards Elizabeth Boyle. Therefore, the very title Amoretti was given to him, that means little love. It was also reflected in the sonnets that it was not both-sided love, it was one-sided love. It was therefore given that little love. Amoretti means little love. And gradually, when we go to after the sonnet, we found the epithalamion and prothalamion. Epithalamion is the before marriage poem of Spencer and Elizabeth Boyle. How the procession is going on, how they are going to get married, and they are processing. Now it is, I suppose that is clear that you are the wife of, or the marriage is materialized, but in a lateral stage, not at the beginning of the sonnet, when the sonnets are written, Amoreti sonnets are written. Okay?
Okay, madam.
Okay.
Madam,
Yes.
Epithalamium was composed to present Elizabeth Boyle as a gift.
Ne-
So was it not handed over to her?
Epithalamion. Prothalamion is the depiction and elaboration of the two princess marriage, double marriage of Catherine and that lady, the
Elizabeth Somerset.
that is
The
the
Prothalamion.
two. Prothalamion is not the marriage of Elizabeth Boyle and Spencer. It was just a separate
Yes,
thing, totally separate. We can, but we can discuss it as a companion poem, Epithalamion and Prothalamion. Most of the cases in your exam, it is a comparison and contrast of Epithalamion and Prothalamion. You have to judge the poems in that way. You compare and contrast both the poems, Epithalamion and Prothalamion. How it is the gift to Spencer, to Elizabeth Boyle, and how he present the beforehand procession of their marriage at the preparation of their marriage. And Prothalamion is the marriage of another two girls, double marriage of the princess, two princes. And that is all about the sonnets of Spencer. 3 sonnets, mind it, and remember clearly that sonnet number 34, 67 and 77. These are comes under your syllabus, and 34, 67 and 77 all are addressed to Boyle. Keep it in mind that Boyle is a beloved, then it is their marriage is materialized after Epithalamion. As Epithalamion is their preparation to their marriage. The Epithalamion, we found the description of their preparation for marriage. They are going to marry. They have leading their married life. And as you saw, the title given by Spencer, Amoreti means little love, and it indirectly shows that one-sided love. Amoreti means little love, and it indirectly shows that it was one-sided love. Therefore, Spencer gives the title Amoreti. And all the 89 sonnets, 85s are mostly the Amoreti sonnets and little love, one-sided, and the last 4 sonnets are just giving the both-sided love or reflecting the both-sided love. Then comes the Epithalamion. From 89, 85 are surely little love, reflecting the little love. Then the last 5 sonnets, it was a sequential sonnets, last 5 sonnets gives their both-sided love. In 77, we also find that how the deer came and give comes to the hunter, the poet lover. First of all, he never, the poet never catch the deer, able to catch the deer. But finally, the deer from his side or her side come to the hunter. As the hunter was not willing to kill her. He just want to focus his love towards the deer. He realizes that at last, and he come near to the poet and the hunter. That is the description in sonnet number 77. And in sonnet number 67. Anybody who go through this 67?
69. Sonnet number 67.
Sonnet number 67 and 77. And the rhyming scheme, as usual, I say FDAB, DCDC, CDCD, and E. The rhyming scheme of sonnet, Spencer and sonnet is as usual, ABAB, BCBC, and CD, double E. Last two.
Madam, may I please put a question?
Yes.
Madam, particularly I find it too difficult how to prepare myself with the temporary details and the such long poems like Epithalamion and Thalamion.
You should not go to the line by line. You just remember the characters. Therefore, yesterday's class I have just told you in a teaching method, in a lecture method, bit by bit.
Okay, madam. But I was downloading previous questions. Questions are set from the poems to annotate them, which I find too difficult for me because the language used in it is the primitive English.
It is old English, therefore we should face some difficulty. But it is not possible to remember line by line. You should just see the terms. If you read the poems repeatedly, then you must remember some words from the poem, and that is help you to correlate the poem.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, good afternoon, good evening, ma'am. Sir, ma'am, actually, ma'am, join रे problem होची काहे कि कट्टी जाउची actually.
You have some network issue, I suppose.
No, ma'am, network issues नहीं, पर बार-बार कॉल कट रहे हैं.
Actually, I am not the admin here. Actually, I am not the admin here. You have to request the regional center. They give me a link. I am also joined through the link, like you.
Yes, ma'am. मैम कल भी मैंने क्लास नहीं कर पाया इसी वजह से, तो आज भी ऐसा ही हो रहा है.
I also pass your message to the sir, and you can message the coordinator, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Sorry for inconvenience.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Yes.
Ma'am, yesterday I have missed your class. How can we correlate with the class? Correlate with the video of yesterday?
Actually, I have no video at all. You have the video or recording in the regional center.
And then I think. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the admin is writing the message that Facebook Live is going on. Then is it the same that you are teaching us as Facebook Live is the same videos or different?
No, same.
Okay.
I think we should allow ma'am to teach continuously because this is just a distraction. End of the class, we can discuss other things.
What can I do? Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Continuously. We should allow you, right? Because we should allow you, ma'am. Because end of the class, there should be 5 minutes. Definitely, there will be discussion. Any problem, we can discuss. Because continuously, you are teaching something, and I am getting distraction. And I hope others also. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Really.
Okay. Actually, I have a query from the students.
Hello.
Actually, you want some caption in Odia?
Hello.
People are messaging me to tell something in Odia.
Hello.
No, ma'am. Please continue in English.
No, ma'am. Tell in English only.
No, no, no.
Then
English.
I am not telling. So I am telling in simple English. You can just
Yes,
concentrate
madam.
and you
Speak
can
in English only.
able to understand me, follow me.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
Acha,
ma'am.
okay. Any
Ma'am,
doubt
actually, I'm
about
Vishnu, ma'am.
sonnets? Okay.
Hello. Ma'am,
Hello.
actually, yeah, ma'am. Actually, I'm Vishnu, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, if I not attend this class in yesterday, then if anything in the recording.
I have no recording with me. It was with the, maybe it was with the regional center. I have
I know
no.
it is the regional center, which, but if you not attend, then what can I do?
Then
Let ma'am to teach first.
If
You can
anything, if
forward
anything,
to clarify
any
your doubts before
website
the
in
end of the
anything.
class.
Hello, comrades. Allow
Please,
madam to
others.
continue his class. Continue her class. Allow madam.
Yeah, please.
Don't discuss
Allow
other things.
ma'am to teach first. We will clarify your doubts later on. Kind
Yes,
Please
do not
continue your class.
do not waste time
After
of
the class,
others, right?
after 8.
We are,
Madam,
Okay,
proceed on.
Please
okay.
continue, madam.
Please
Please continue.
mute everybody. And if you have some query,
Okay, ma'am.
let me give some hints to the block 2. As I said, everybody should follow the sonnets. And any doubt about sonnets, just go through the syllabus only. Now, I must give you 5 minutes later on for your problems, discussion of your problems. Any doubt about sonnets? First of all, block 2 deals with sonnets of Spenser.
Only one.
Any doubt about sonnets? What do you mean by sonnets and how?
Eighthru nebu. Eighthru jogura kuda achi. Red ro. Ye no. So 3, 5, everybody.
Any doubt about sonnets?
Yes, ma'am, I do have a doubt.
Yes.
Evening and Spenserian rhyme. That was the different style that Spenser introduced, yes?
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Spenserian. Yes. First, in the old sonnets are Petrarchan sonnets, octave sestet, 8 lines and 6 lines.
Yeah.
Then Spenserian sonnets and Shakespearean sonnets.
Okay.
Spenserian sonnets, 4 quatrains and a couplet. Hello.
Disturbing
Please
here.
unmute.
Why are you disturbing? Please
mute yourself.
Ma'am, please, you can mute everyone, please. Yeah, because somebody is disturbing something. This is not.
Yes, I do agree with you. I do agree with you.
Ma'am, please continue. Please continue, ma'am. I'm really getting distracted. Yeah, I want to listen it.
Sorry.
Yeah. No,
Actually,
not you're not supposed to say sorry. We are disturbing. So, ma'am, please, yeah, mute. You can mute us.
Actually, sonnets. First of all, everybody should follow me about what is sonnet. 14 lines poem. Just keep it in mind roughly that a 14-line sonnet must be a 14-line poem must be a sonnet. A lyrical poem is a sonnet. And as you know, Petrarchan sonnet is the old version of sonnets that is divided into 8 and 6 lines, octave and sestet. Then comes this Spenserian sonnet, 4 quatrains and a couplet. And the rhyming scheme of Spenserian sonnet is AB, AB, BC, BC, CD, CD, and E. That is enough for the Spenserian sonnets characteristics and the composition of Spenserian sonnets. Then Shakespearean sonnet, 4 quatrains like the Spenserian sonnet and a couplet. But here this rhyming scheme is different from Spenserian sonnet. Rhyming scheme of Shakespearean sonnet is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. That is only difference between Spenserian sonnet and Shakespearean sonnet. And you know the Petrarchan sonnet is the most old version of sonnet. That is only octave and sestet. And the most common thing among these 3 types of sonnet is 14 lines poem primarily called sonnet. That is all about the introduction of sonnet. Then we come to the Spenserian sonnet. As you know, Spenserian sonnets rhyming scheme, I told again, I repeat that AB, AB, BC, BC, CD, CD, and EE. That is the rhyming scheme of Spenserian sonnet. And in your syllabus, it is mentioned that sonnet number 34, sonnet number 67, and sonnet number 77 of Edmund Spenser is for you in your syllabus. And all these sonnets are comes under the Amoretti collection of sonnets of Edmund Spenser. Remember that Amoretti collection of Edmund Spenser. The sonnet number 34, the name of sonnet number 34 is Like as a Ship. And sonnet number 67 and 77, I have no title at all. I never get any title, and it was not also mentioned in your book. And sonnet number 34 and 77, these are also comes under Amoretti sonnets. Amoretti means, in Greek, Amoretti means little love. Why little love? Because the writer wants to say that all these sonnets, he wants to say that it was one-sided love. First of all, from the very beginning, it was Spenser that he loves Elizabeth Boyle. But at first hand, it was not Elizabeth Boyle approaching Spenser. He was not considering Spenser as his beloved. But gradually, they became partners. And the epithalamion and prothalamion. It was just the concluding poem after the Amoretti, it was epithalamion. And epithalamion is the love poem and marriage poem. And in this, the description of preparation of marriage of Spenser and Elizabeth Boyle. And Spenser is a character within this poem. He was write his own marriage preparation in epithalamion. Just keep it in mind that it is his own marriage preparation. He was writing in epithalamion. Then prothalamion is the marriage of the double marriage of that two princes of all, the king of all. That is all. Somebody is asking that what is sonnet? Sonnet means a lyrical poem consisting of 14 lines. 14 lines poem is called sonnet. I am clear? Everybody should follow me, or any doubt? Then we come to the epithalamion. Then about the sonnet, everybody should follow me, I suppose. Everybody should clear that what is sonnet and types of sonnet, and Shakespeare, Spenserian sonnet you have to follow for this upcoming exam and in your syllabus. 3 sonnets, 34, 67 and 77. In 34, and about Spenser sonnet, we must say that he uses so many metaphors, so many similes for his beloved. Metaphor means which in the praise of Elizabeth Boyle, his beloved, and gradually he becomes the wife of Spenser. But at first time he was not the wife of Spenser; he was the beloved of Spenser. And gradually their unification materialized, their marriage materialized, and they became partner to each other. And there you have to follow the 3 sonnets. Then the epithalamion, and very important is Spenser's epithalamion and prothalamion in MEG 1 block 2. The 3 sonnets and epithalamion and prothalamion. While studying epithalamion and prothalamion, you should keep it in mind, it was thus 2 companion poems. One is the answer to other, just like that. They are companion poems. You should keep it in mind. And after when I must give you a suggestion that when we read a poem, we should have a poetic bent of mind. Just like that, before going to the epithalamion and prothalamion, we should keep it in mind that These two poems are the companion poems. They are companion poems. Then you should study further. First, keep it in mind that epithalamion and prothalamion are companion poems. Then you should go through it line by line. As you know, epithalamion is the marriage poem of Spenser himself. Epithalamion is the marriage poem of Spenser himself. Epithalamion written in 1594, and the sketch map or skeleton construction of epithalamion is it consists of 24 stanzas. Epithalamion consists of 24 stanzas. Here, one stanza, 1 hour. Just it is said that one stanza 1 hour and 24 stanza a day, 24 hour a day, and 365 lines, just like one line 1 day and 365 lines a year. Just in this way it was described. Just the construction and the writing scheme of the epithalamion is 24 stanza and 365 lines. It consists of 24 stanzas and 365 lines. I just go that here the writer Spenser gives instance of god of marriage, Nymph, goddess of nature, sun god, Phobos, Phobos is sun god, Phobes. It means all the Greek mythology, taking the characters of Greek mythology. And he just reflects the Phobos means sun god, Nymph, goddess of nature, all these things. The poet, Charles Lamb, the critic, the renowned essayist, he just regarded Spenser as poet's poet. He gives an epithet. It was called as epithet, that Spenser is the poet's poet. Why? For this epithalamion. Epithalamion, the writing of epithalamion, after going through the epithalamion, Charles Lamb give a epithet to the Spenser, that Spenser is the poet's poet. Spenser is the poet's poet. Spenser moved to Ireland from the early education of Spenser is from London, and then he moved to Ireland from London. Sun god or Phobos is a Greco-Roman word. Greco-Roman word, Phobos. We found lots of description of nature and the gods of Greek-Roman mythology in this epithalamion. Just remember stanza 1 to 8, the line number stanza 1 to 8, as it was 24 stanzas. Stanza 1 to 8 describes the beauty of Elizabeth Boyle, the beloved of the writer. And again in the stanza number 9 to 30, beauty description of Elizabeth Boyle and how she prepares herself for the marriage ceremony. Celebration 14 to 17, celebration of marriage and importance of unification. Stanza number 14 to 17, the celebration of marriage and importance of unification. How they are leading, or they are going to lead their conjugal life. They are interested to, and at that time, the sex and the all this love is not vividly described. But Spenser is one who vividly describes the love spiritually and physically. In a sonnet number 67 or 77, he compares the breast of Elizabeth Boyle to two golden apples. Though it is rustic or it is vividly gives some nakedness, still then he describes so beautifully that it defined Spencer that he always describes love spiritually and physically. He was able to describe love physically and spiritually. Stanza number 18 to 24, anxiety for marriage. Pray to God. Anxiety. We should have, everybody, being a human being, we should have anxiety. Anxiousness. That creates anxiety within human being. You know, at the last part of the epithalamion, the poem, Spencer describes his anxiety. Spencer describes the anxiety of both himself and Elizabeth Boyle for maintaining the conjugal life, for maintaining for going towards the unification. That is all the sketch map of epithalamion. 24 stanzas, 365 lines. And first stanza describing the beauty of Elizabeth Boyle with nature. He describes the nature throughout the epithalamion vividly, in a very unique style. And through this unique style, he also never leave the gods, the nature, he always prays the nature and God also side by side. And he uses most Greco-Roman words, Greek and Roman words, Greek and Roman gods in this poem Epithalamion. As you know, he was traveled from London to Ireland, and this impact was upon him that he was both Greek and Roman autocracy upon him. He was biased by Greco-Roman words, Greco-Roman mythology. Therefore, we found most of the characters in Epithalamion, the gods, the nature god, the nature, the description of natural beauty is there in Epithalamion. Again, I describe that 1 to 8 stanza, beauty of Elizabeth through nature. 9 to 13 stanza, beauty description of Elizabeth and how he was preparing herself for the marriage ceremony. 14 to 17, celebration of marriage, importance of unification. How marriage is important for the conjugal life, for unification. Love is materialized through unification, through conjugal life. Otherwise, love is not materialized. Yes?
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Again, please. Which standard deals with what? Please, once again. I would like to request you to describe which standards describes what. As you say, first 8 standards describes about her beauty. Those standards. Please explain again.
Again, I must repeat. You just tell me to repeat again.
Okay, I'm trying to take down this.
Okay. Stanza number 1 to 8, beauty of Elizabeth in very morning. That's why through natural beauty, through nature, how Elizabeth Boyle is looking from the very morning. 9 to 13 stanza, description of beauty of Elizabeth again, and how she prepares herself, or how she prepares her beauty, how she prepares herself for marriage ceremony. Stanza number 14 to 17, celebration of marriage and importance of unification. As we know, without marriage, the conjugal life is not maintained. And how here he just gives importance that how love is materialized through marriage, love is materialized through conjugal life. Then, therefore, marriage is mandatory. He gives importance to marriage. 14 to 17, celebration of marriage and importance of unification. Love is materialized through marriage. Love is lover and beloved the unification of lover and beloved is materialized through marriage. He gives that importance, gives the importance of marriage through stanza number 14 to 17. How marriage is mandatory, how marriage is necessary for their love to be materialized. Then last, stanza number 18 to 24. Anxiety of marriage. Everybody, being a human being, we have anxiousness, anxiety. And in case of marriage and love, the anxiety is obvious. Then, though lover and beloved, they know each other beforehand. Till then, their anxiety to lead the conjugal life, to lead the unification, lead their unified life. Their anxiety is to the superb level. Their anxiety reaches the super level, upper level. How they are anxious to lead their conjugal life. That is all about epithalamion. Epithalamion, and before going to the epithalamion, you must remember that it has 24 stanzas, and the writer said that one stanza like 1 hour of the day, and 24 stanza 24 hour 1 day, and 365 lines means 365 days, and it reflects 1 year, and it is a long poem processing of his own marriage, and he give this epithalamion poem to Elizabeth Boyle after marriage. He was writing this marriage song beforehand and then gifted to Elizabeth Boyle. He writes it about his own marriage. Spencer never writes about others' marriage. He writes epithalamion is the poem of his own marriage with his beloved Elizabeth Boyle. He describes, he just dreaming about their marriage ceremony, how it is going on, how the natures, how sun, how the goddess of nature, how the goddess of sun god, all are blessed, all are giving blessing to Elizabeth Boyle. He pray before all that, please bless us, please bless Elizabeth Boyle, that I am going to have a marital life. That is all about epithalamion. Epithalamion, 24 stanzas, each stanza reflects 1 hour, and 24 stanza reflects a day, and 365 lines, which indirectly reflects 1 day, 365 days, 1 year. That is the sketch map of Spencerian epithalamion. And after Amoretti sonnets, epithalamion is written by Spencer. Song, it was also told as hymn and hymns, Greco-Roman song of marriage. Must remember and note down that hymn, H-Y-M-N and H-Y-M-N-S, Greco-Roman song. It means song of marriage. Epithalamion is otherwise known as song of marriage. And then the prothalamion. Prothalamion is dedicated to double marriage of Prothalamion is written in 1596 and dedicated to double marriage of Elizabeth Somerset and Catherine Somerset, two princes. It was also told that it was, yes.
What is page number you are reading?
Page number I never mentioned. As I have to also follow the net material. Then
page is 33. 33.
Yes, ma'am. I have received study material.
I have the soft material. I am not the hard copy.
Page number is 33.
Page number
You're gonna check.
Okay. Prothalamion, page number 43. Thank you.
Page 43.
33. 33.
33.
43.
Yes, ma'am. I can find
Okay.
it.
Okay. Prothalamion written in.
Hello.
Yes.
Excuse me,
yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
May I know the name of the poetry?
Prothalamion.
Ma'am, Prothalamion written in which line?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Prothalamion written in which lines?
Which year?
Please ask
1596.
question one by one. One by one.
1596.
Okay.
Prothalamion, written in 1596, dedicated to double marriage of Elizabeth Somerset and Catherine Somerset, two princesses. It has 10 stanzas. We found 24 stanzas in Epithalamion. And again, I must want to say that Epithalamion and Prothalamion, both are companion poems. You have to keep it in mind before going through these poems. Before going through the Epithalamion and Prothalamion, we should keep it in mind that these are two companion poems. Most of the time we found questions that compare and contrast these poems. Compare and contrast these poems, Epithalamion and Prothalamion. How? Epithalamion is the marriage celebration of Spencer himself. Only then it has 10 stanzas. It is a slow going poem. Nice nature goddess. I must tell that Phobos, sun god. Phobos, Phobos means sun god. Nymph means goddess of nature. Nymps, nymph means goddess of nature or nature goddess. Here the swans description of two swans, that Elizabeth Somerset and Catherine Somerset, and complexing poem, discontent against the system of biographical element. We found these elements in Prothalamion, only morning time, the description of morning time, slow going poem, nature goddess, flowers of wedding crown. They are collecting the flowers from the wedding crown. Swans, just given from the instance of Leda and the swan, two swans, the description of two swans. Complexing poem, complaining poem and complexing poem, discontent. We found contentment in Epithalamion. We found that finally the poet is happy with his beloved. The marriage is materialized. Their anxiety is to the upper level, raised to the upper level before going to marriage, and finally their marriage is materialized. But here we found the discontentment against the system of biographical element. And most of all, you should keep in that it is a characteristic with Spencer that he describes the nakedness in a very shrewd manner, that we never blame him as rustic poet. Most of the time, if we describe nakedness, we told them the poet is very rustic. He was just through the nakedness clear without any shyness. But Spencer is that type of poet that he writes, he describes the elements of love, elements of conjugal life in such a way that they spiritually and physically represent the love throughout the poem. He spiritually and physically reflects the poem throughout the poem. That is all about block 2. 3 sonnets, epithalamion and prothalamion, that is the main important course and syllabus for you for the MEG block 2. Then anybody who add something to it?
Madam, please.
Yes. Yes.
As you described that this stanza, from this stanza to that stanza, is with this feature of the poem Epithalamion. Can you kindly define these 10 standards of Epithalamion? So which stanza deals with which feature of the poem?
Yes.
Please, ma'am.
Madam,
I would like to.
hello,
Yes.
madam.
Yes.
Madam, एटा आपण को वॉल्यूम टा पढौचंती ब्रिटिश पोएट्री रो
Block 2. Second book.
Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Volume
Okay,
1.
thank you, madam.
Sorry, volume MEG 1, block 2.
Volume
MEG 1, volume 2. Thank you, madam.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, I haven't yet got my study material. I have it. I have subscribed it for online, but I haven't yet got it. So how can I get it?
Yesterday, just Vijay sir, the coordinator sir, explained you that for the shutdown and lockdown, it was on process that you get your study material soon. And if you want to get, you can download it from.
Getting my study material.
You should download it, or you should get it from net now. I have to also teach you from this soft copy. I have also not get the. That is also very difficult to me, but
So what is the link to download it from the net?
Gyan course. E-Gyan course.
Gyan course.
Course.
E-Gyan course.
This is E-Gyan course.
Okay.
E-Gyan course. KOSH.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, please.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to finish. I am interested in listening and really disturbing sometimes.
Okay, I am also disturbed, but I have to give you honor being the MEG students.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. Yeah, but yes, ma'am, continue.
No, I just want to tell you that anybody should want to add something to that epitaph sonnets.
Madam.
Yes.
Madam,
yes.
Please, as you described the stanza, this stanza to this stanza describes this feature of the poem Epithalamion. In the same way, I would like to request you to tell us which stanza of Prothalion describes which feature of the poem. It will be easier for us.
Actually, as it was short. It was about the Spencer's own biography, based on own biography, Epithalamion. Here it is mentioned, but in this poem it was. You just go through it, then I will discuss. But it was not. It cannot be segment in Prothalamion. It was just in a random way.
We should analyze the poem as a whole.
As a whole. Just go through it. If any problem, then ask me.
Okay.
I just want to that anybody who wants to add something to all this course.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Please, ma'am, discuss once again what are the types of sonnets. Types of sonnets,
3 types, majorly 3 types. Petrarchan is the oldest one. And Petrarchan, first of all, sonnet 14 lines poem, lyrical poem, 14 lines poem. It was mandatory to all. Primarily, a sonnet must be a 14 lines. Petrarchan sonnet is octave and sestet, 8 lines and 6 lines. Petrarchan. It was the oldest type of sonnets. Then Spenserian sonnet, 4 quatrains and a couplet. 4 quatrains and a couplet. 12 lines, 4 quatrains.
Yes, ma'am.
And a couplet. Then Shakespearean sonnet, 4 quatrains and a couplet. And about couplet, COUPLET, couplet. And about couplet, I must say that couplet carries the entire gist and entire theme of the sonnet. You go through the sonnet line by line, but the couplet carries the entire gem of the sonnet.
Yes.
And the rhyming scheme is different in Spenserian and Shakespearean. Also, everything is same, but rhyming scheme is different. In Spenserian sonnet, AB, AB, BC, BC, CD, CD, and EE. But in Shakespearean sonnet, that is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, and GG.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, are we advised to remember the stanzas? I mean, are we advised to memorize it, or we have to remember the
Actually, it was not at all possible. I suppose it was not at all possible to
at least
remember
for the exam purpose.
Actually, as I told earlier, you should go through it as you reading story, reading poem with a poetic bent of mind. While going through the poem, we should have a poetic bent of mind. As it was in Canterbury Tales, it was written in Old English. It was written in Old English, and really, it was hectic. Yes.
Ma'am, and while writing answers, we need to write at least one stanza or
Yes.
any important
One
stanza.
stanza. Yes, you have to write from the sonnet. You may remember the couplets. You may give reference. While reading, you may get 1 or 2 lines touching to your heart. Then remember it.
Okay.
No issue.
Anything we can write from the stanza.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
While reading, just read once, twice, thrice.
Okay.
Then you must get some idea. And you must, some lines are touched to your heart. Then you must write it down and keep it in mind. While answering the question, you may give reference of that, or you may quote it. That is more appropriate and more eye-catching, and you get more marks. Why? If you extract the text, extract the poem, poetical lines while writing in the exam paper, it was more appropriate that you are gone through the text. It was justified that you are gone through the text.
Thank you, ma'am, for clarifying the doubt.
Ma'am.
Yes.
I have something to say. May I?
Hello.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have something to say. May I?
Yes, yes.
I have actually gone through some of these articles on Amority and Shakespeare's style of writing sonnets. Shakespearean sonnets. I mean, sorry, not Shakespearean. I mean Spenserian sonnets. I keep mixing them up. But I have I've come across these how to put it, instances where people, and not just contemporary critics, critics of critics in Spenser's time and critics in our time and throughout, they have not pulled their punches while recklessly criticizing Spenser's style of writing sonnets.
As I told you, in some of his sonnets and writings, he was vividly or nakedly describes the woman beauty.
Yeah,
he
but
just
that is
that is the issue.
They did not just tear down the erotic element of Amority or Spenserian sonnets, that is. They also did address the fact that Spenser deviated from a classic sonnet style of that time, which was dedicating this to somebody that you cannot actually attain, someone's love, someone that's unavailable. You know, it should be someone else's wife, some very high-born countess that you cannot reach in any way, shape, or form. But Elizabeth Boyle, someone Spencer actually did get to put in his own life and spend time with her and be a part of her life as well. So, can we get any more insights on the fact that how
you can compare and contrast how he describes the nakedness, but in a as the critic says, Charles Lamb says, poet's poet. Spencer as poet at that time he writes vividly, and he has the art of writing that it was not exposed to nakedness. It was spiritually coated, then sugar coated pill. Just like that, he writes the poem. He writes the nakedness. He writes. He describes the nakedness of his beloved, but in a very shrewd manner, in a very sugar coated pill.
Yes, he did. But so did some of his contemporary writers.
Yes, sir.
But only Spencer was toned down in terms of getting the focus on the criticism. He got the heavier end of the stick, that is.
Yes. Actually, at that time, nobody dares to write such a way, the nakedness in the poem. But through natural beauty, through metaphors, they write. But Spencer dares to write that way. You give the...
But Spencer did use metaphors. For example, like you cited there, that he was comparing his beloved's bosom with a pair of Edenian apples, that was.
Yes.
And the skin to a marble table.
Yes. So the instruction is coming. We are concluding, and for tomorrow class, that is block 3. Be prepared for that. It is all maybe the poets.
Ma'am, please.
Yes.
Ma'am, please discuss the octave and sestet sonnet.
Octave 8 in Spencerian sonnet, that is octave and sestet. 8 lines. First 8 lines.
Petrarchan sonnet.
In Petrarchan sonnet. It was old style of sonnet. Then comes Spencerian sonnet, then Shakespearean sonnet. In Petrarchan sonnet, yes.
Ma'am, please describe the rhyming scheme
of
describe.
In Spencerian sonnet and Shakespearean sonnet, they both are common in their style, 4 quatrains and 1 couplet, but rhyming scheme is different. You have to follow the Spencerian sonnet, but you must know the 3 types of sonnets are there, and most probably the Spencerian and Shakespearean sonnet. In Shakespearean sonnet, the rhyming scheme is AB, CD, EF, and GG. In Shakespearean sonnet. In Spencerian sonnet, rhyming scheme is AB, BC, CD, and EE. That is the rhyming scheme.
Thank you.
So, be prepared for
the Petrarchan sonnet follows the rhyming scheme of ABBA in the octave.
Oh, ABB? What? ABB?
Octave. A Petrarchan sonnet follows the rhyming scheme of ABBA in the octave.
Okay. Then the other should follow that the rhyming scheme of Petrarchan sonnet. ABB, ABA, B, A in octave.
ABBA in octave.
Yes.
Ma'am,
yes.
I have something else to ask as well. Hello?
Yes.
So I was going to address the fact that Spencer had a heavy pastoral influence on his sonnets as well, given that he actually did write 3 very, very vivid pastoral pieces beforehand in the Shepherd's Calendar.
Most of his writings are pastoral writings.
Yes, he is a pastoral poet.
Yes.
Can you, if you like, if it's not too much trouble, can you describe how Amorati actually deviates from his earlier works, from his classic pastorals, Spenserian classic pastorals? How does Spenser himself deviate from his own style? How does he actually make these two contrasting pieces or contrasting styles?
Just tell me how
period of
you
his
think
lifetime?
that. You just point out, and then now we discuss. You just go through that he was a pastoral poet, and through then from which point of view you consider him?
That's from which point of view I consider him to be a pastoral poet.
Yes.
To be honest, the first piece that he did dedicate to Elizabeth I, which was the Fairy
His
Queen.
beloved.
His beloved was Elizabeth Boyle. I'm talking about the Fairy Queen. So from there you actually get the episode by episode pastoral style. But beforehand, he already did write another piece, which was the Shepherd's Calendar, which he dedicated to Gabriel Harvey, one of his closest friends. And after that, after Fairy Queen, came Calling Clouds Come Home Again, which featured the same character and some of the earlier characters from Shepherd's Calendar. The same Calling Cloud that was also in Fairy Queen made one short appearance. So my point is, Spenser deliberately manages to put himself, his contemporary poets.
Anybody add to it something? That how Spenser is a pastoral writer? Anybody?
Because Shepherd's Calendar definitely shows, as the name actually does state, Shepherd's Calendar shows in all the 12 Eclogues, you actually get these dialogue-based interactions between farmers, sheep herders, and sometimes I guess
he takes the characters from the shepherds.
It is the characters. Their lives are vividly described, and he actually gets down to the smallest details of how a person living a country life back in those days would actually go through their own lives, adding the artistic and the poetic element to it, that is.
Yes.
So what I actually have noticed while going through Amorati is that he deliberately does deviate from that because he's fixated on this one beloved of his. He's managed to erase his other dedicated people from here.
Yes, from yes.
Though he did dedicate one of his one of the sonnets to Elizabeth I, Queen Elizabeth I, and in the other one he actually had his one of his other contemporaries, Alabasta, described to him how he did not manage to actually finish the Fairy Queen. He made it to 6 books, and then how to put it, the Mutability Cantos, which was essentially just 7 books, but the 7th one was half finished. So he does.
Yes, continue, sir.
He does refer to his just a student. Thank you, ma'am. He just referred to his own style, and then still managed to keep up with his current style of just staying with one person, focusing on that one person, finally elevating this Elizabeth Boyle to the standards of Queen Elizabeth in a way, comparing her to God, comparing her to be his ways of redemption in a way, while not going for someone that he cannot actually reach, someone unavailable, someone he cannot reach, someone out of his league, that is, someone unavailable, like his contemporary, like a Petrarchan sonneteer would do.
Yes, actually,
the reason why he was criticized. Yeah.
Yes. You have the answer with you. Why you are asking me? You know the facts that why he was called the all his writings comes on pastoral writings from the very beginning, and gradually, as we know, gradually it is increasing, and he was mature. He writes sonnets, then epithalamian prose, and his matureness is gradually increased day by day. And that's why the sincerity. And while reading poetry, again I must warn you and request you to all, while reading poetry, we should have a poetic bent of mind. That's why we can the new ideas emerges.
Yes.
The writers see in true love, and while reading John Donne's poetry, we have to that bent of mind, the poetic bent of mind.
Yes.
then we can only get the real charm of poetry. The next block is perhaps enter poetry, John Donne, Marble, and all these things.
Yeah,
They get
metaphysical.
metaphysical poet. Therefore, be prepared for tomorrow's class. And thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.